Hi everybody, good morning. Welcome to another week of 4K. This week we are learning all about Rainforest Safari. So you will receive your packets like you usually do in your bags at the church. Along with that you will receive your physical activity cards too. And then for busy binders this week, we have our packet like we typically do that goes right into your binder. This is the last packet you will receive from me for the rest of the year. Unless you run out of worksheets to do, let me know. I can always print off some more. This gets you through to about spring break kindergarten year. So this packet is a little bit more challenging, a little bit more addition, those kinds of things. With that though, you will receive a math game each week still from me to go with that busy binder. So you won't receive the worksheets anymore, but you will receive the math game. With that being said, this week's game adds on to last week's where you had the pockets. This week now we have an addition game. So last week you had the stick with the dots and then the number that they had to match up. Now we're moving on to simple addition. So 1 stick, 2 stick equals 1 plus 1 is 2. When you teach addition, the simple addition, you want to teach it on 2 separate hands. You want to keep those completely separate. You want children to realize that you have one item over here and you're adding it to one item over here. Push those 2 items together and what do we have? When you do it on one hand, they think of it as only one item. When you do it in 2 separate categories, their brains can separate that. So when they get into kindergarten, typically they teach it as birds or animals. So they'll say a bird flew in from the right and a bird flew in from the left. How many birds do we have? Now we have 2 birds, if that makes sense. So that's typically how you want to teach these in that order. The sticks don't have any numbers or anything on them. They're just blank. So it's just the simple addition of 2 sticks plus 2 more sticks equals a 4 and that stuff. Last week we had sent out an email that touched base on a possible graduation ceremony. How do we want that to look? I would love to have the kiddos come in and we do a formal ceremony. However, with COVID-19, we're restricted from that. So we had came up with a plan to do it like a front porch graduation ceremony at everybody's house. Now, Erin Liebelt has graciously come out and said that she would love to take all of your guys' pictures, which huge props. Thank you, Erin. We really, really appreciate that. We did have a parent say that it would be kind of cool to do it at the church where they would typically graduate from because their class was here. So we thought maybe that would be the better idea. That way then Erin and I are not traveling from house to house and breaking social distancing, even though we would try not to. But then parents could come here, and instead of doing it in the building because we're not able to access the full building with COVID-19, we would do it outside. So we would have all the families arrive at a specific time. We'll just say everybody comes in their cars at 5 p.m. And then one at a time, a kiddo would get out of the car. We would announce it. The kiddo would get out of the car. They would walk up the ramp at the church. They would receive their diploma. And then when they come down the stairs, they would get their picture taken. And then their family can get out of the car and come and get pictures with their kiddos as well. Then they all go back into their car. And we would do that for each student. We don't have a date yet at what time this would be about. Last month it would have been. We had set the date for May 27th for graduation. That's when it was in-house here and before the COVID-19 had hit. So now we're looking at getting it done, obviously outside. If you guys have any suggestions, please let us know. We will come up with a date. We'll let you know a time and everything. We had talked about the cap and gown. I did order one for the kiddo, so I just have one on hand. So if you choose not to order the cap and gown for a keepsake for your child, you're definitely welcome to borrow the one that I have. Just keep in mind that other kids will be wearing it, and the cap does go on the head. So if there's ever a fear of anything, any kind of germs or anything being transmitted, you're more than welcome to order one off of Amazon. I did attach the link in last week's email. I can reattach it in this week's as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Let me know. Let me know your suggestions and all of that. So you guys have a great week. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.